Yo, we are back with another episode of Run the Ropes Media Podcast. And this one, I feel like a couple years ago, we was like literally in the mix. Look at here. I would say it probably had to be like what 2021 around that time. Like
2020? Is that when it started? When did it start?
no, it was
Maybe
around like 2019. Around like
2019,
2019
2019,
but I'm talking about like when they just picked up momentum. When they
2021.
starts CM Punk, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson. That was the time when I was just like, you know what? WWE has some real trouble on their hands. They literally majority of the WWE from Keith Lee and some of the NXT, heavy hitters that WWE has had over the years when they went to AEW. I literally thought we was gonna have another competition because AEW was beating NXT on Tuesdays. AEW was giving them competition with the PLEs. One thing that I will say regarding WWE versus AEW for a lot of the fans out there, when it comes to PLEs, I would say AEW, they not spending as much money as WWE for like the big venues, every single PLE, but they put on some matches, bro. You don't just get 5 matches, you get a good 8, 9 matches. But the thing about AEW is, for the most part, you have great storylines. You have good storytelling. That's one piece that I feel like WWE is missing, and that's the storyline piece. But one thing that I feel like AEW is missing, and this one may sound crazy, bro. I don't feel like they have that star power that they once had. CM Punk coming to AEW to me was the beginning of any kind of feud that AEW and WWE is having, or could have had. But they lost it. It's literally like when CM Punk went from AEW to WWE, I feel like that was when the tide changed, bro. Everything just kind of went from one direction to the next. Now you got guys like a Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega. You got the Young Bucks. You still got a lot of guys that's in there, but I feel like the fans over there, they want something fresh. They want something new because they tired of even some of the WWE people going over there, and then they taking over like John Moxley. We got 8 belts Money with Mercedes Money. So things does get stale over there in AEW as well, bro. But in the current states, AEW just came off of a great PLE, great pay-per-view this past weekend. Again, I say they put up great PLEs, but do you think AEW is even competition anymore for the WWE? Because at one point I would say that they were, but WWE doesn't even look at AEW as far as competition now. How you think that's gonna plan out?
Well, the thing about talking about the competition, right, is the head-to-head competition was always realistically between NXT and AEW, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those those like major PLEs for AEW would go head-to-head with some PLE that NXT had. The only difference is this year WrestlePalooza September 20th is going head to head, I believe, with AEW Full Gear, is it?
It's literally on the same day.
Yeah, so and obviously there's reports and everything and rumors that they're going full balls to the wall now in this direction. WWE, every single time
Mm-hmm.
AEW is going to be having, they want to crush them in the ratings.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to say, right? I don't know the whole numbers and metrics, but from what I've seen in the past, NXT usually does. They kind of outperform a lot of AEW, even in their pay-per-views. However, you mentioned they their big PLEs, man, well, for them it's actually pay-per-views because they
Mm-hmm.
charge like $30-$40 for the pay-per-view. But they do put on a good show.
They put on the show, bro.
A lot of it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I know this past weekend you had another incident
Oh
with a
yeah, one of
fork in
those.
the
Yeah,
ear.
yeah.
I don't need to see that stuff. But as far as some of the wrestling and some of the matches, they definitely do put on a really good show. You touched on storylines. I don't know if you can say they're better in AEW. I feel like WWE right now is at a low point when it comes to storylines, but as far as storylines in AEW, it's hard to say, bro. I mean, you had a guy running around with a briefcase, not even showing their world title for a
For
year.
months. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have Mercedes Moné just beat everybody. She lost to obviously Tony Storm, but it's like they didn't really elevate Tony Storm's character since then. This
Do
whole
you
Edge and Christian thing, they kind of flip-flopped like a John Cena heel turned to a babyface, you know what I'm saying? Like, we went from Mr. Spikes or whatever the heck that they called that
Yeah.
freaking bat thing, hitting him in the nuts with it, to all of a sudden them you know, a handshake, whatever. It's like they do a lot of flip-flopping over there. I don't know. I wouldn't say storylines are super involved. A lot of the same faces over there are kind of
Maybe that's what
in
it
the
is,
main
bro. It's
mix.
just like when some of the main guys, I guess, connect, they got something that they can relate to, whether if it's
Yeah.
a Hangman or a Swerve, like they got history and they bring up the history. Like one thing I feel like both of us like is the fact that they don't play us as dumb. Like if John Cena just smacked Edge 2 months ago, like next time I see Edge and John Cena, they better not be helping each other. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like we like we don't forget. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like we want our storylines to coincide with things, but again, AEW on the side of as far as storylines, they can get mixed up. They can get lost in the sauce too. But one thing I will say about them is that when they do try to do something good, either it's gonna be really, really good, or it's just gonna be like, damn, bro, that was just an AEW L. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people like to blame Tony Khan for for a lot of the mishaps up at AEW because they like to say that he lets the superstars run the show. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's John Moxley let him know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Or the Young Bucks. You got the what they say the running the asylum. What's that
The
saying?
inmates run the
The
asylum.
inmates running the asylum, and that's really what it seemed like. Like, and not even to talk about like the authority figures, but I just feel like people were scared of Vince McMahon.
Mm.
The wrestlers were scared of Vince. They ain't really scared of Tony Khan like that. You know, do you get on just as far as like the
It
persona or
it's almost like in AEW, a lot of the talent have, like, maybe they don't have, obviously, I'm not talking about creative control, but they almost have the freedom to pitch ideas more so than
Mhm.
they did as to in, like, a WWE, right? Because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, when Vince ran the show, it was Vince's show. If it was his decision at the end of the day, if it wasn't really his storyline or his creation, so to speak, he didn't
Mhm.
really want a whole lot to do with it. It seems like in AEW, they kinda have leeway of like, "All right, you know, maybe this idea will work," so on and so forth, but it's very interesting that almost WWE is acknowledging them without acknowledging them, if that makes sense. Because you would not go head to head with a different company if you
Mhm.
didn't think that it's for somehow, some way would actually benefit you,
Yeah.
meaning they wanna draw attention away from AEW, "We want
Mhm.
you over here."
Yep.
It's interesting.
Do you think that's good for business though, bro? Like kind of, they always say some competition is good for business, but I don't I personally even with the state of AEW currently, and AEW can be repetitive. I mentioned the storylines, it could get repetitive just like in WWE, right? But I don't see them going anywhere. Like they still have a strong fan base. They still sell out their PLEs. Like you got a lot of WWE versus AEW fans try to show, oh, this arena was empty. Bro, bills are still getting paid. Wrestlers are still wrestling every single night. I think it's dope to have, um, a competitive spirit, but also at the same time, like AEW, gotta remember, y'all took a lot of WWE wrestlers, bro.
Yeah.
So it's not like y'all. It's not like y'all never was competitive either. Like AEW had this, bro. If I was to say 2021, 2022, AEW had WWE, I feel like a lot of people would probably agree. Fresh matchups, new faces coming over, people able to do different things. I don't want to see AEW go away because I feel like when you got competition, then it brings out the best. That's how we got CM Punk in WWE. You know, that's how we got Brock Lesnar back because they look at him as competition. You know, but I also don't see AEW just sitting down. AEW still finds a way to make their moments. I just think most of their moments are either a fork in the neck, a fork through the ear, You know what I'm saying? Stuff that we don't generally see over there as WWE fans. So yes, it's very standoffish. Like I don't want to see somebody get stabbed in the face with barbecue screws, stuff. I don't want to see none of that.
Yeah.
So that's why AEW got their fan base. But the things that they do over there at AEW, I think it is some dope stuff. And I feel like competition is good. Just stop stabbing people with forks and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Go
at
ahead,
the
bro.
at the end of the day, it's
Cause that
not.
John Moxley stuff, we already know, bro. They not having none of that in
Yeah.
WWE, bro. It's like a mixture of like some ECW type vibes, bro. But they definitely be over there wilding.
But it is an option, right? So if that's what you prefer and that's kind of like your style of wrestling, it's great that it's out there and it's great that
Mhm.
that is an option for people. I mean, I don't know if it's obviously good for talent too, right? If like you can't get signed to WWE, if it doesn't work out with WWE, it's always great to have a different option to go make a living
Yep.
somewhere else. But speaking of making a living somewhere else, real quick to note, I think it's important to kind of throw this into the topic of conversation. We got to look at the guys that came from AEW and the women too that came back into WWE. They're pretty much all in NXT. Penta is the only real superstar who has come from AEW that's on the main roster, main spotlight. Now Stephanie Vaquer, again, they haven't really done a whole lot with her.
And
Blake
Jay.
Monroe, is still down in NXT. Ricky Saints is still down in NXT.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and why do you think that? Why do you think
Again,
that?
I think it's to the point of the whole like we don't really want to acknowledge you guys as main talent, so you're gonna have to earn your stripes here in NXT first to get yourself back to the main roster.
Dang, that's why you think they throw. See, I thought that they
It
throw him
could
in
be.
some like Jay. I feel like Jay should have went to NXT, but they could have put Ricky Saint straight to the main roster.
Oh yeah, 100%. I
I feel
100%
like
agree with that.
I feel like most of the times, and I think Jay was an exception, bro. Jade and Penta got years of experience. Like Penta wasn't new.
Yeah.
Jade was a phenomenon that I don't know.
I think Jade was such a phenom and such a a presence in the ring at the time where she came over from AEW that she was main talent and she had the look of main talent, right? Like the
Mhm.
women on the SmackDown roster at the time wasn't really doing anything all that special. So I think she did fit into that roster at the time. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it has something to do with them just coming from AEW. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just something to point out.
Yeah, I think that they like to get the AEW superstars acclimated with like a WWE roster, start them off small with like in it because NXT schedule is kind of like an AEW schedule in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Minus one extra show. So I think it's more to kind of get them acclimated and get the fans involved with them. But I think that's the best way. Get them acclimated. You once you bring them up too early in WWE straight to the main roster, you don't let them build character. That could be a huge mix up. And I think that's what AEW may potentially need. They may need to have a kind of NXT where even if you bringing in some of these WWE guys or bringing in some of these free agents, you still can kind of play around with them to see who needs to go here, who needs to go there, instead of just getting WWE superstars, putting titles on them, and then it goes nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think this AEW WWE, I don't even want to call it feud, but it will pick up because
Yeah.
AEW don't back down though, bro. Tony Khan, is scrawny as he look, I still feel like he don't play that stuff, bro. He got a big bank too, so he got a big bank. So you got two big banks. It's not like it was WWE versus WCW where they can just instantly buy them. AEW got that bread too, so I can see him being here for a long time. So let us know how y'all feel about that in the comment section below. Is the new Monday Night Wars about to start up with WWE now doing PLEs on the same day as AEW? What will really be the show is if we get WrestleMania and another big AEW event at the same time. Let's see who got the big, because I don't know if AEW want to go up against WrestleMania, bro. That's a tough one. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think Tony Khan will back down from something like that, though. So we shall see. Wrestling is about to get very, very interesting. I will let y'all know that. So let us know what side you on. Are you playing straight in the middle? Are you team AEW? Are you team WWE? Let us know that in the comment section below. And other than that, you got your boy Break.
Got Dylan.
And we out. Peace.